Chelsea were equally dominant in both ties against Real Madrid as City were in theirs. And that just says a lot about the quality of the squads in Premier League teams at the very top versus the rest of Europe. Dave, were you impressed by Chelsea? Do you think they've got a really good chance of beating City? I certainly think City would prefer to have played Real Madrid based on what we've seen.
100%, yeah. I've been saying this actually for the last few weeks. That I think Chelsea are the team to beat Man City, and obviously we saw it yesterday. Obviously, there's only a dress rehearsal, and Man City did kind of rotate for the game, but I think Chelsea have shown in the last few years their template has been solid, and Tuchel as a manager, he's got them very well drilled, and I think personally, it wouldn't surprise me at all if they beat them in Champions League.
Isn't that mad to think? Because I think of the Frank Lampard tenure at the end of his time there, it felt like there was no cohesion with any of the players. He had some quality signings, to his credit. So whoever was sort of scouting to fill the holes in their team had scouted right, but again, very top heavy. And they just needed somebody to get those pieces, especially in the front of the team, at the very front end, working together. So Kai Havertz was a quality player in the Bundesliga. So was Timo Werner. They weren't firing at all. Their defence looked suspect with Thiago Silva there. Now suddenly their three at the back system looks watertight. They've conceded, 10 goals in 20 games or something? And 5 of them are against West Brom, which is mad. So Chelsea, I think, are going to be bloody hard to beat.
I think they're lacking a top striker still. And there's talk of Lewandowski's future and where he's going to end up going this summer if he decides to stay fine or not. So, he won't be short of options, put it that way.
Yeah, I think Chelsea definitely want to watch, and I think they'll be pushing for the title next season because they've got the players. But then it begs the question about Real Madrid again, in the same breath as PSG. Do Real Madrid look like a team that are at the very top of European football now? Because looking at squad depth, their bench didn't look half as impressive as Chelsea's, which is mad to think. A few seasons ago, Chelsea would have been massive underdogs against Real Madrid. But now the tiles turned so much in terms of you couldn't see Chelsea losing, that European football for me just seems a weird place to be at the moment because there's no one really at the top of their game apart from those few Premier League teams. So what's going on? What's happening? And where did Real Madrid come back into this? Do they need a massive overhaul in the same sort of way PSG do?
Yes. Yeah, 100%. Real Madrid in particular, they've got a really old squad now. And even the younger players that they've tried to bring through, Zidane doesn't like. And you think that a few years ago, they went on this investment project to bring in players like Odegaard, even Dani Ceballos, Odriozola, Hakimi, all of these young players that looked like they were going to be the future. Where are they all now? None of them are at Real Madrid. They're still playing Toni Kroos and Modric, who are fantastic, don't get me wrong, but have they got the legs to win a European Cup anymore? Well, we saw no. Chelsea pulled them apart in midfield across the two legs, particularly that first leg. And N'Golo Kante was outstanding in both matches, but was allowed the space to be outstanding. If you think that his main job normally is screening that back four, picking the ball up, and then carrying it forward a little or finding Jorginho or Mount, whoever it may be, you didn't need to do any of that. You just kept running forward because why not?
It's the first time I've ever seen Kante in that much of a free role because he didn't look like a defensive midfielder at all. And I think he played him in a much more advanced position, knowing that he'd have that kind of space, which is mad. It's Real Madrid.
Do you remember when Sarri came in and all the criticism was, why are you playing Jorginho as a holding midfielder and playing Kante further up the pitch?
Yeah.
Kind of saw why a bit late this week.
Yeah.
He was brilliant there. But Real Madrid didn't offer much. And I think Zidane will be really, really frustrated with that. But you've got to question some of the decisions that he's made. All right, Odegaard's not light in the Premier League, but he did a very good job in La Liga last season. And they looked like they really missed creative threats for Real Madrid this season. So maybe Odegaard would have slipped in there. If they win today, then they'll go top of La Liga. But again, that seems like three bold men fighting over a comb at the moment. None of them know what to do with it.
Crazy,
they keep bottling it every 5 seconds, Atletico, Barca and them. So who knows with Spain at the moment? They seem way off the pace. And the stuff with Hazard afterwards was hilarious.